Did you know the worldwide population is 7.6 billion and the internet has 4.2 billion users? The internet has become so prolific that 75% of work interactions and 62% of family interactions take place online. In fact, technology has advanced to such a degree that 1 in 5 people don't think that their jobs will exist in 10 years' time. The big tech companies in Silicon Valley are spending millions of dollars every day building up artificial intelligence. So now is the perfect time to focus on what technology can't replicate, like teamwork, empathy, and personality. Bricks and mortar isn't in decline. We just need to adapt to a technological world. Studies show that the average consumer is exposed to up to 10,000 brand messages a day, and the average person's attention span is now only 8 seconds. This means that roughly only 10% of content is remembered, so your marketing efforts need to be so good that people can't ignore you. An excellent place to start is on social media channels, which grew by 362 million users in 2017. Social networks are also the first place consumers look to find purchase inspiration, and 70% of buying experiences are based on how customers feel they're treated. If we take a look at the real estate industry, the number of households in Australia is projected to grow from 8.4 million in 2011 to 12.6 million in 2036. Over the same period, the population is expected to grow by nearly 50%. And over the last 12 years, the average time on market has dropped from 52 days in 2005 to 44 days in 2017, with the median house price increasing more than 14 times between 1980 and 2017. In the time this video has been running, 600 babies have been born around the world, 1,500 new mobile social users have signed up, and 833,000 Facebook and WhatsApp messages have been sent. The world is changing, and our work and lives are being disrupted every day. Sometimes it can feel overwhelming and a little scary. But trust us, now is a great time to be in real estate. Are you ready to stand out?
Ladies and gentlemen, show of hands if you agree with this statement. What you will need to do to stand out in 2020, so we're talking what, 18 months from now, will be different to what you will need to do or what you're doing right now. Show of hands. Okay, most of you in the audience. That's interesting. Hey, who thinks that expectations from customers over the next 18 months will go down? Who thinks that expectations from customers over the next 18 months will go through the roof? Show of hands, ladies and gentlemen, every single person in the room. What is driving that? Well, that's the question that I asked the CEO of Google. And he showed me this slide, and he said, look, Steve, he said, what you need to understand in the olden days, now when somebody from Google talks about the olden days, they're talking about 2016. In the olden days, this is how customers compared experiences. They would compare them in industry silos. So they would compare the experience of a hotel to a hotel, one holiday to another holiday. They'd compare the experiences of one real estate agent to another. But the CEO of Google said to me, they were the old days. Because now these companies have changed the rule book. And now what happens is when customers compare experiences, ladies and gentlemen, they compare them universally across all industries. So I'll give you an example. So this happens to thousands and thousands of Australians every single day. It'll happen to me tonight when I land in Sydney. I will jump out of an Uber, and we know how easy and seamless and painless booking an Uber is and paying for an Uber. And then I'll drag my bag and I'll walk into a hotel, and there begins a new experience, which often kicks off with a queue. So you're waiting in the queue, and after about 4 or 5 minutes, you get to the front of the queue. And guess what, Mr. Carroll? We've got some missing information. Can you just do a bit of paperwork for us? Address, email. And I'm thinking, but I did this for you last week when I was here. Then they say, can we have your credit card? Because we just need to take a swipe for incidentals. And I'm kind of thinking, what do they want that for? This is the same credit card that I used to book the hotel. But hey, look, that's the process. And then what happens? Happens to me all of the time. The receptionist, they give you the key. And then they say these words, Mr. Carroll, is this the first time you've stayed at our hotel? And I want to get down on my knees and I want to say, please, please, this is the 65th time I've stayed at the hotel since Christmas. And you served me, you checked me in last week. Ladies and gentlemen, no wonder the hotel industry in Australia lost close to $300 million to Airbnb in 2017. Because in this digital world, out-of-date thinking, out-of-date processes, the failure to move with the times gets punished. So folks, could that happen to the real estate industry? Well, I reached out to this guy, Greg. Now, Greg's the head of research at realestate.com.au. There's only 3 things you need to know about Greg. The first thing is, he is the nerdiest of all research nerds. Seriously, if he makes a beeline for you at lunchtime, run the other way. I'm sorry, Greg, it's just the way it is. But in fairness to Greg, he's probably the smartest person in the auditorium. He's got the brain the size of a planet. But the interesting thing with Greg, at his fingertips, he's got access to millions of buyers and sellers who come to our site on a regular basis. And I said, Greg, can you help me out? 2 things I want to know. In 2020, what will real estate agents need to do to stand out? That's question 1. And secondly, Greg, can you find this out for me? How are we doing right now? And the answers, ladies and gentlemen, to those questions forms the basis of the presentation that we're going to give. So let's go. So 3 insights that Greg learned after speaking to thousands of buyers and sellers. And this was the first one, immediacy. Have you noticed that everybody is so bloody impatient these days? Like 0 tolerance to wait for anything. And you'll love this story. Uber have just given the award to Australians for the most impatient passengers of Uber. Right? Now, we've all done this. We've all done it. Let me just put this clicker down a second. We've all done it. We order an Uber, and the Uber is 7 minutes away. Oh, that's bullshit. I tell you, Uber's service is getting worse. Then what do? We cancel and rebook, hoping that another Uber might be 6 minutes away. I mean, what is wrong with us, ladies and gentlemen? It's only a few years ago that we would wait 40 minutes happily for a taxi, and then when the driver rocked up, we'd give him a tip before we even got going because he rocked up. But that is the way it's all changing. And some organizations are really adapting to this need for speed. One of my favorites is Amazon. Amazon have got this vision of delivering whatever you order within 2 hours, irrespective of where you live. And part of their strategy is to put warehouses in the sky. Warehouses in the sky so drones can feed from the warehouses and deliver what you've ordered into your back garden. I mean, my daughter, she's going to love it. She's 17. At 3 o'clock in the afternoon on a Saturday, she's going to be able to order a new pair of jeans from the bed. She probably hasn't even got out of bed at 3 o'clock on a Saturday afternoon. That's at 3 o'clock. At 5 o'clock, the jeans will be dropped in the garden. At 7 o'clock, she'll be out with her friends. Right? This is how forward-thinking businesses are reacting and responding to this need for speed. So I said to Greg, how are we doing, Greg, in real estate? Well, we've got a bit of work to do because according to Greg, 25% of seller inquiries unanswered. 48% of buyer inquiries unanswered. Now, ladies and gentlemen, people compare experiences universally across all industries. Real estate is going to be compared to Amazon, compared to Uber. We're going to move, because we said we would talk about 3 things that Greg, the insider, said we would need to talk about today. Let's move to the second one, which is this personalization. So Greg said to me, look, Steve, if the audience only take one thing from what you talk about, it's this. Agents that will stand out, will dominate in 2020 are the agents that master personalization. Here's a thought for you. You're in Australia. There are 3 million Australians on Tinder. Like, why would 3 million Australians be on Tinder? Apart from the obvious reason. They're on Tinder because they want to personalize the perfect partner. And this is the world that we live in. So you can, no, not quite what I want, not quite, move to swipe to the left, and on and on and on. Now, when I was single, before I married Lorraine, you know, I would put some shades on, go to a nightclub and dance a little bit weirdly, and that's what I did. But the world's moved on. And look, some organizations, again, are spotting this trend. Nike. You go to the USA now, through augmented reality, you can go into their stores, and augmented reality allows you to design your own trainers. So the days of going to the gym and everybody wearing the same shoes, that'll be a thing of the past. Now, not to be outdone by Nike, I love this story. So Adidas, a few months ago, the Boston Marathon, 30,000 runners. They put a widget in 30,000 runners' vests, which enabled them to give every single runner a personalized video of their experience. How good's that? And what's even better is they were able to deliver 30,000 videos within 2 hours of the marathon finishing. What do you reckon these runners did when they got that on their phone? Well, exactly, they would have shared it on Facebook with Adidas branding everywhere. And that is a great example how thought-leading organizations are moving with the times. So there's a great opportunity for every single person at AREC, because this is what Greg told us. Less than a quarter of customers, buyers and sellers, think that they're getting a personalized service right now. They think what they're getting is a one-size-fits-all solution. What a great opportunity for every single one of you in the room. We've got 4 minutes to go. We want to just talk very quickly about the third trend, which was this. We're all being watched. Now, just a quick experiment. Show of hands if you are one of these people. First thing in the morning, you grab your mobile phone and check your Facebook. Show of hands if you're one of those people. Absolute, I'm there too. I mean, seriously, often before you even say good morning to your partner, we need to get a life, right? But bottom line is, we are a generation that are obsessed with checking people out. We're a generation of people that like to seek approval of what we've written is getting likes and comments. You know, where's this going to end? I mean, imagine a world where you're walking around and everybody you see through glasses you're wearing or contact lenses you're wearing, you can see what their social rating score is. I mean, that would be a bit weird. Imagine a world where every interaction you have with a human person, you actually give them a score and they give you a score back. I mean, that would be pretty sad. Yeah. Imagine a world where your social rating enabled you to upgrade to get a better seat in a restaurant or in a hotel, or maybe the inability to get a decent seat on a plane because your social rating is just not what it should be. Now, hopefully that world will never come. Some people think it is, but what we do know is 72% of buyers and sellers are researching us every single minute of the day, online and offline. And it's something that we all need to be aware of. 2 key areas that people do this. Number 1 is through the realestate.com.au agent profile. Yeah, and I know you'll all say, yeah, but you work for that company. You are going to say that. But bottom line is 12,000 profiles are checked out every single day. 12,000 opportunities to make an impression. A good friend of mine works for LinkedIn. He tells me that one of the most searched professions on LinkedIn is real estate agents and the real estate industry. I hope you've enjoyed that. Our intention over the last 25 minutes was to give you some ideas, to give you some strategies to help stand out in the crowd. Sarah?
Yeah, look, I've got the letter brochures. Everything's over at therealestate.com. You're welcome to come have a look.
Yeah, and also Greg is going to be at our stand, so you can make a decision whether or not he's the smartest guy or the dullest guy on the planet. My name's Steve Carroll. This is Sarah Hackett. Thank you for listening.
Yeah,
Well
we
done.
did it.
Well done.